Let's start by doing that first of all. So, everybody, thank you for coming on the show this evening and joining along with me. Um, I'm just getting everything fired underway, so here we go. Real quick before I start getting into introducing our guest, thank you for first of all joining me this evening on the show. I do appreciate everybody's support, everybody that usually comes and follows along, and you know, man, I really feel the love you guys are sharing, and I'm getting a lot more traction, a lot more people following, interacting with the show. So I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you guys very much. All the gratitude in the world. Thank you for just being here. So let me get started first of all by saying if you're watching this evening and you're checking us out on any of our live feeds, if you're on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, just like my guest did today. So I get notifications when that happens. So do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. We're trying to build our viewership there on YouTube. It gives us a ability to be a little bit more creative with some of the things that we can do as far as with our channel and that sort of thing. So anybody that follows along, I do appreciate it very much. You can also check us out on our Facebook page at Made from Scratch Broadcast. You can go there as well. We are streaming live there as well. You can also follow us on Twitter, which my guest has a bigger following on Twitter. So you can follow us on Twitter, and it is at FSB Live on Twitter there. We're streaming live right now on Twitter. So if you're watching, give us a shout out. We would appreciate it very much. And then again, you can check us out on our website. We're streaming live this show on our website. So if you go to our website, you can go see everything that we do there. So that is at www.madefromscratchpodcast.com. And there we're doing the live stream there. You can also catch up with all our past episodes. There you can also catch the link to the podcast in all of the past podcast episodes on Spotify. So do us a favor, go check it out. And again, you can comment. You can, you can actually, hey, if you want to come on, book. You can book to be a guest. There's a link on there. Just fill out the information and let me know, and we can have a little discussion if you guys would like to do that. So without any further, let me get started on tonight's guest. Now, me and her met on LinkedIn, and we actually met. I was doing a live streaming show with Adam Posner, who was he has his own sort of live stream thing that he does on LinkedIn. And one of the guests that was on in front of me was the lady that I'm about to introduce to you guys. And funny that we reached out and we connected and we had a really good conversation. And from there, she has her own thing that she does on Twitter. So I kind of hopped into one of her conversations there. And again, we had a really good time. And I'm glad that I befriended her because she's got a lot going on. And a lot of that, her message is one of the things that I liked about her. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what she does. So, guys, without any further ado, help me introduce to the show Andrea Sanchez. Hi, Andrea. How are you
Hey,
doing?
hey there. How are you, Gabriel? What an
I
intro.
I am doing good. So yeah, I'll just giving everybody a little brief breakdown of how we met. And one of the people that I've followed a lot on LinkedIn, and I've been pushing everybody. Hey, if you go to LinkedIn, you're going to find a lot of interesting people. You're going to find a lot of people that have really good messages. They're there to share their stories and experiences. You can find these on all over social media. I just find them that there's a lot more. There's a more collective of them there on LinkedIn than some of the other platforms. Not saying that they're
Absolutely.
not. It's not saying that they're not anywhere else.
If
I'm
you
just saying,
go to LinkedIn, you're gonna
yeah,
find
yeah, you can go find it there. So yeah, exactly. So you can see us live again, and we're streaming on Twitter. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube, and I'm also streaming on the website. So you guys can go check us there. And if they ever let me have LinkedIn Live, I will be streaming there as well. So
You
that's one
will.
of yeah,
You will.
and I'm pushing very hard to get on there. So um, let's go ahead and start about you, Andrea. Let me ask you the first question for can you kind of explain just a little bit about yourself to those who are unfamiliar with you? Kind of,
Sure.
just share your story a little bit.
Share my story. So, in a nutshell, I love seeing people grow. I'm passionate about seeing people grow. I think it's because I've come from a background of a lot of criticism and bullying and saying you can't do this, you can't do that. But all that got me to be stronger and really enabled me to say, okay, I don't want people to go through this either. So I want to give them the inspiration where they may not have inspiration. So that's been my mantra, I guess, through everything I've done. I've been a writer all my life. I've worked in nonprofit for about 20 years. I've done marketing, communications, but the latest is I believe everyone has a spark inside of them,
Yeah.
that really is the aura of who they are. And once they find that spark, they're like invincible.
Yeah.
And I believe everyone has a story to tell as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
stories, if you think about it, they unite people. It may
Yeah.
be very vulnerable, but you feeling all alone may be someone else's story because they feel all alone. So if you can connect someone and be the first to tell your story, then you make that other person feel a lot better.
Yeah. And again, to your point, I think that was the one thing that drove me to start doing this as well. I had somebody tell me, you have a story to tell, go ahead and start telling it. And that kind of got me going in a direction of wanting to do exactly what he said, tell my story. So I started expanding on it, and I started, putting myself out there to, again, and at that point I was looking for different forms to kind of say, okay, now I'm getting my story together. I want to share it with people because I think I have something to add. And one of the first things that caught my eye was, said, well, let me do podcasting. I said, let me start doing it. So I started getting into the work of doing it. And then, again, me and you had this conversation. I started, my thing was about challenging myself. So that was the next level. And I said, let me start doing video. Okay, so let me hop into this. And from there, I kind of just took off and went forward. And I said, okay, this is what's interesting about doing this now is that I get to meet the people like yourself who sit there and can teach people about telling their story. Because again, I think a lot of people will think, well, my story's not interesting. I don't have value. And that's where somebody like you comes in, and you're able to help people find their voice and craft their story, and let them know that it is important. Everybody's story is important. So tell me a little bit about, kind of like what you do. You have a certification from Prosky, and you're a change practitioner, but you also have your own business now. And as the title says there, she is the founder and chief igniter. So tell us a little bit more about what Spark Story does.
So again, I believe everyone has a story to tell. It's just about finding the spark inside of you to let it out. Some people may not realize they have a story, or like you said, maybe they think this is not worth telling. Who's going to be interested in this, or what's so special about me? But really, it's very subjective. Just like we take certain things or certain gifts of ours for granted, to others it may be like, wow, I didn't know that. That's something that I could really connect with or inspire me to do something else. So what I basically do is I work with individuals and or companies to really find their personal brand, and in a way that's not, I mean, my background is marketing communications, but I really believe in the emotional connection, the human first element when it comes to marketing and communications. So what does all that mean is really saying who you are by why you exist. What's your why? What's your personal why? What's your story? How does it connect on an emotional and human level? Is it a story of belonging? Is it a story of courage? Is it a story of forming a community, making a difference, security, whatever it may be? And then you start, getting community, building trust and followers. And then if you have a product, it'll come, but that shouldn't be the main message. So it's all about human connection. What I really loved about you is I didn't really know your story, but you had mentioned in that podcast from Adam that you really did not like video,
I
and
did.
that you started this like a month ago. And I was just like, that is a story of courage. And that is a story of just challenge and determination. And
Yeah.
so that right there was like a spark in me to do and try more video because I can do
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. And again, I tell everybody, um, whenever we have these conversations, they find it hard to believe that I didn't like doing this, and I really didn't. If you go look on a lot of my social media, you can go back and see my social imprint. I didn't have a lot of pictures of myself. I didn't take selfies. I didn't do a lot of like videos because I just didn't. It was something about it that said, you know what, I'm uninteresting. I don't have this or I don't have that. So for the longest time, and I think it goes back to being a kid. I go back and look at like pictures that my mom or family members show me. I'm always covering my face. I'm always
Really?
crying. Yeah. So um, it never was a thing. I never thought of myself being as photogenic. I never thought of myself saying, okay, I can be in front of a camera. So that was part of why I said I had to start doing this and challenging what the notions that I knew about myself. And um, now that I go out and I said, you know what, the only way I'm going to continue to do this and grow and make these sort of barriers that I keep breaking is by forcing myself to go. And that's why I do it every day now, either whether I have a guest or not. Because I could just say, I don't have a guest tonight. I can. No, I've made a commitment to go this far. I'm not going to stop now.
Wow.
And the goal now is 100 shows. So once I get to 100 shows, I'll reevaluate. Yeah, well, you know what? They add up pretty quick. I'm going to tell you what. If you do one every night for 5 nights a week, you're episode 32. So,
That's amazing.
so yeah, they go pretty fast, and within literally, I'm already I'm a quarter of the way there. So the next milestone that I'm getting close to is 50. And then once I get to 50, once I know I get to 50, I know 100 will be right behind it. And piece of cake, right? And from that point, again, I get to the point where I reevaluate everything and I go, okay, because again, not only do I want to do that, but I also want to continue to grow as I do this. And again, being creative, the way that I bring the broadcast to everybody and the way that I can integrate things. Because again, this is the limitations of what we can do here is the only way we can put that kind of barrier in front of us is the ones that we want to accept. One of the guys that I call my mentor, he does his show like that. He's probably like already at about 110 episodes because he does the same thing. He does it every morning.
Wow.
And he's collected quite a bit of material and that sort of thing. And me and him we converse every now and then we converse a lot and share ideas and that sort of thing. So one of the things that I like to do this morning is I streamed his show through all my channels. So
yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
You're like
So
advanced.
so and again, this kind of leads me to meeting other people. Yeah. Hey, Mila. And me and Mila had a conversation last night. Because of seeing people like meeting you and guys, and Andrea's got a lot of more people that follow her on Twitter, and that's sort of what her thing. So guys, if you want to follow her, right, and her thing that she does, she has she's doing a thing now where she kind of has like what is it, like a Zoom meeting or Zoom group thing? Tell us a little bit more about Dare to Be, because that kind of interests me as well.
Thank you. No, Dare to Be is kind of like my community. That's my
sanity. There you go.
It's sort of like a sanity project, really, because I was living overseas. My husband got transferred overseas to Azerbaijan, which is by Iran and Turkey. I was still working, but from nights, keeping my job from the U.S. But I really was lonely, and I wanted to keep learning and keep connecting with people. So I really turned to social media and Twitter. Before, I didn't understand Twitter. Now it's like one of my favorite platforms.
Yeah.
There's so many thought leaders there, and
Yeah.
there's things called Twitter chats that on any topic that you can absolutely think of. So I joined a lot of those, got to know some people, and then I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start my own. And because I always want to challenge myself, like you, and daring myself to do things, I'm going to call it Dare to Be. So I 5 years later, I've been doing it for 5 years. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you go on Twitter and you search the hashtag Dare to Be, there is a topic that we go over every week. The latest was Dare to Inspire, or Dare to Have Courage, or Dare to Be Trustworthy, or Dare to Be Vulnerable, whatever. And we ask a series of questions related to the topic every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You can imagine like the variety of responses and the variety of people that go on there. And some people have been on there for the past 5 years, and some are new people. It's a great way to connect. What I recently did, which you just joined, and I experimented because you gave me like the inspiration to be on video, is I took my Dare to Be community and started experimenting another day and bringing that community to video, which is via Zoom meeting. So I call it Dare to Be Live.
Yes.
Still very baby stage, but I'm experimenting with video and finding out that storytelling is so different through video than it is through Twitter chats.
Yeah, because again, this is one of the things that I love about it, and why I love doing this face-to-face sort of thing is because you get to see people's interactions to conversations to stories. So if somebody's really touched or somebody's really like shocked, you can read, yeah, exactly. You go, wow, that's and you really get more impact that way. So that's why I like the video. Not that there's nothing wrong with doing chats. There's nothing wrong with podcasting. I think both of them are great ways to still interact with people. There's other avenues. For me personally, I wanted to do this because again, I get to see face-to-face communication. And kind of like what you were talking about, I was quarantined for 14 days. If I didn't have that, I would have gone nuts. So again, that's why I got to reach out to a lot of people, got to have conversations, got introduced to new people. And a lot of these people now are people that I like to call them friends because I go a little bit deeper with them. And I usually like to have conversations on or off air with these people, but beyond just becoming on the show. And again, a lot of these people, once they come on, I always regularly like to check in. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? What's what's this? I actually had one of my friends contact me today because he was trying to put together a live streaming sort of a thing, and he'd been on my show, so we reached out again. And I told him, anytime you want to reach out to me, you want to have those kind of conversations, or if there's any way that I can help, please let me know. I would love to. It's just my way of paying it forward to the people who've helped me get to this point. And that's why I said, you know what? I had somebody planned here and they had to reschedule. So at that point I said, let me start pulling people let me call Andrea, let me see if she's, and boom, I worked it out. Again, when I reach out to people and I tell them right now, I don't go too far ahead as far as booking, because again, I'm waiting for, again, everything's changing on a dime these days. So for me to go, hey, 3 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance, hey, and then what happens when 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, hey, vaccines found, just whatever,
Exactly.
And again, all these people's ability to come on and do these things is going to change. And I would just rather do it tentatively and say, hey, guys, I kind of do like a week ahead, and somebody has to pull out again, like somebody else, like they did this week. Okay, I'll go to the next person, If nobody can, oh well, then I'll just do a show by myself.
That's great.
I don't mind it. Again, because I have fun doing this, and hopefully that everybody that I have on likes to have fun with me. So, and again, me and you've had a couple of conversations already. So I already feel comfortable with Andrea. So
Yeah, no, likewise,
yeah,
likewise.
likewise. So
Um,
one of the things that that I wanted to talk about as well, where you've had this mentioned a few times, is how you've had to adapt. And I'm
mhm,
asking everybody, how have you had to adapt to everything that's going on as far as lifestyle changes?
mhm.
Um, kids. Again, like we're having this where parents are now having to become interactive in their children's education because that's
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 right.
we have to. So has it affected you in any way as far as like your work? I know you do remote sort of thing, but I
I
mean,
do.
has there anything that's changed as far as like the way you have to connect with people? Is there?
Um, well, first of all, I'm at my desk right now, and I'm looking this way because I have all these things from my daughter that she put at school today. So we're kind of
Awesome.
sharing desks. Um, so has it
That's
changed?
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I through Spark Story, I was working with several clients, and one of the people that I was helping with, or firms that I was helping with, they, because of the time, they let go of all their consultants. So I actually got laid off last week because
Oh
of that.
wow. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm the type that tries to, when things come, I'm human. I get bummed, but then I try to reframe it and say, okay, I believe there's like a higher purpose and a journey that I'm meant to follow. So perhaps this is a wake up call to really do more of what I wanted to do.
Yeah. There you
Um,
go.
so experiment, research, and because of that, I found Adam's podcast. I found you. I mean, I wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to follow like my mantra of actually wanting to help people grow and inspire. Other ways that, I mean, that's, if anything has changed, funny enough, it has given me more focus.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, because you're getting that opportunity now to concentrate on
mm,
the things that would use, because you would either have other things at this point right now taking
mm,
your frame of mind and everything else off of wanting to do this. You would say, oh, I got to finish this for this client, or
right,
I have to I got a deadline I got to finish on this part, so let me
right.
get to now that your mind's a little bit open, you get a
Mhm,
little bit more and you go, you know what, I can focus on this. I can um
mhm,
again, I'm the same way. I started doing this and I said, you know what, I focused a lot of my thoughts, my abilities, and just the way that my mind usually works anyway, and kind of funneled it into one channeled energy. And that's how I was able to I built a website, and I built a website over a weekend. I Yeah, so I would go and get again, being trapped for a few days does things to people. So you can either go mad or you can go do great things and go learn them. So I just went to YouTube, and literally I saw a woman. This is why I said I love YouTube. I saw a woman build a house from the foundation, everything that she learned off of YouTube. And
what?
yes, I need to put that link in. I'll put it in there.
Dang.
She learned how to build a house by watching YouTube and going back and learning how to do this part of it, this part of it, this part and I mean everything from the foundation to putting up the walls to sheetrocking and of course she had help, people that would come and help her, but she was the main one telling everybody how to do these things. So exactly. So I could tell everybody that's something that's so interesting that you can go find on there. So I tell everybody, first of all, Google it. If Google doesn't have the answer, YouTube it. YouTube will have so you can figure out a lot of these things. So and again, you want to learn about I don't know, you wanted to learn about personal branding, marketing research, go to YouTube. Um, a lot of the marketing research that they do for advertising, that McDonald's, that Walgreens, that all these huge companies do, and I mean down to the minute detail of why color schemes are picked, wireless.
Hmm.
All that stuff is on YouTube.
There's the science. Yep.
They've spent millions of dollars in research to figure this out. So my thing is, if they've already spent the money to do it, why don't you go learn it from them and go instill it into what you want to do?
That's
And it'll,
right.
and it'll kind of help you along the way to build up whatever you're trying to build. So um, some of the best brand creators, some of the biggest ones, they have YouTube videos.
That's right.
Go to YouTube. I tell everybody, YouTube is your best friend when you want to go learn something. And
Hmm.
again, you can do it at your own pace. That's the second thing. There's no rush, rush, rush. You can go watch the same video 10, 20 times until you master it. And I'm a big proponent of it. So um, I'm glad that you're getting into video because again, that's a way for you to get people more familiar with who Andrea is, and it can help introduce people to Spark Story because again, you do a lot of different things there.
Hmm.
Um, I like to go to these websites and I like to read people's blogs. You have a blog there, and I go check out some of the blog posts that she's done. Really introspective writing, really interesting stories, and but people won't go look if you don't direct them in the right
That's right.
direction and go tell them, hey, check out what she does. She's got a interesting story.
Yeah.
She's again, I love finding these people and bringing them to light, and I will until I'm sick and blue in the face because I think people need to hear this more than anything. I could have a motivational speaker on. I could have a brand, as long as they're here to help add value to somebody's life. And again, here's somebody right now. Check it out. Yeah. So they're saying you're doing something different that people, yeah, inspiring
Nice. Yes.
from
We're
India,
from India.
from India.
That's awesome.
So we are actually connecting with people and
You're
sharing them.
global. You're
Yeah,
global.
I'm global now, and uh, you
Wait, is
know,
this a milestone today? You're global?
yeah.
Yes.
So this is awesome. Thank you. We appreciate it. So, you know, um, what so I want to talk going back to Dare to Be. So, is there a particular way that somebody can sign up to join one of your lives now? Because again, I want to kind of funnel people to go check out Andrea whenever she goes live. So
Oh,
you say you do
okay.
it you do it what, Tuesdays
Well, the Dare to Be
or
chat that's
oh
not
chat?
on video is on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So
Okay.
the way they join that is they go on Twitter, they search the hashtag Dare to Be, and it'll take them directly to the conversation. Or they can also search for my handle, which is the @ and A Sanchez 16.
16
Mhm.
on Twitter. So
Yeah,
guys, you want to go get into some interesting conversation?
yeah.
What better way than go there and help Andrea out, and you can probably learn a lot from her. So I one of the things that I like to talk about is creativity,
Hmm.
and I think I call everybody creative soul because everybody has, they have their own passion for self-expression and that sort of thing. So where do you draw your inspiration from whenever you create your chats or whenever you come up with a workshop or a speech or coming up with any kind of blog post? So where do you draw inspiration when you find these things? Because everybody has their own way and everybody's very particular about how they do this.
What a great question. I love that question because I'm so like you in that I'm not the type that can plan weeks and months in advance of what the
Yeah.
topic is going to be. How I find my inspiration is here, my heart.
Yeah.
I listen to my heart. I listen to what topic, selfishly, can I use right now that I need advice on.
Yeah. That's hey.
Sometimes I do that. Like, what am
Yeah.
I feeling? Because I feel like when I feel a certain topic is when the questions become more genuine and more alive, rather
Yeah.
than just choose a topic. Okay, what should I do this week? Let me just randomly pick what comes on the internet first, and I'll pick that. No, you want to feel the more you feel your words, the more I mean, it's contagious. You attract people as well. So that way, sometimes I have guest hosts and I ask them, I'm not picking the topic. You pick a topic that you're passionate about and we'll go from there. And it always works great. So I listen to my inner self to go for inspiration, but I also listen to, I'm really sensitive to auras of people and how it could be it could be something positive or negative, because you end up being super exhausted if you're around a crowd and you start to feel, okay, this person seems tense, this person seems happy, this person has something going on, and just by looking at their eyes, so you get really exhausted. But I try to take the pulse of how people may be feeling right now. The pulse is one of fear, uncertainty. Sometimes people throw it in as positive, like a way to start over, like resetting. So I try to incorporate that into the topics as well. So they're timely, so they're relevant, like what you do.
Yeah.
So I find that works the best for me, and what inspires me is to stay in the moment.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's really great. And again, when you come up with a topic, right? I'm like you. I feel it. I say, I can feel whether or not we're going to have a real good conversation. So I do develop questions, but again, if the conversation is going well, screw the questions. I'm going to go
exactly
how the conversation is going to lead me and how I feel, because I've had conversations with people where we start out, I ask a few questions, and then boom, we just go take off on the topic and we're gone. And we'll do the whole thing that way. And, I'll be like, hey, I had questions, but oh well. I think what we did was a lot better. And, so let me ask you one more thing that you kind of was saying there. So if somebody were to say, hey, I want to reach out to Andrea, she's touched a nerve with me and I feel I can connect with her. What would you tell somebody right now, especially in these times, that say, hey, I feel lost. How can you help me find, that strength and energy to turn the way that I'm thinking to be positive and that sort of thing? Because I watch news all the time and I'm just always depressed. So how would you address that issue if somebody came to you and asked you that?
Well, number one, you want to let them know that they're not alone, that we are all human, no matter what country we live in, no matter our age or rank or position, whatever it may be, shapes, whatever. We're all human and we all have emotions. And more than likely, what you're feeling, someone else or 100 else are going to be feeling it too. But it just takes that one person to kind of be the leader and tell that story of fear or tell that story of uncertainty. And so then by doing that, to have the courage to do that, you bring in others from the woodwork that come in, and then you feel more strength in numbers, right? And so that's kind of like what I like to do, is give people the courage to really own their humanness, that it's okay. No one's broken. No one is imperfect. I mean, we are imperfect, but you're not imperfect just by thinking certain things that aren't status quo. Oh, I'm the head of the family, I should always be strong, or I'm the president of the company, I should know everything. No, it's okay. And you're not alone. So I like to give people the courage to really look at what they're feeling and absorb it, and not try to hide it, but welcome it, acknowledge it, and say, okay, I hear you, fear, I hear you, uncertainty. Now I'm gonna see if I can turn that energy into something else, or let me talk to a community that's feeling the same way, and we can brainstorm together. So I try to do that. I like connecting people and giving them a safe place that they belong.
Awesome. That's a great answer. Because there are people out there right now, and they're feeling these emotions, and they're putting a lot of what they know and understand in what's coming across their television screen. So seeing that all the time, and you hear ungodly numbers like 6.5 million people are filing for unemployment, and death tolls are rising and reported cases are up. Well, of course, you're going to be like, what am I supposed to do? Oh my God, overwhelmed, and anxiety and stress and all that stuff can skyrocket. And I've read stories online of people who are alone or in these situations have committed suicide because all that's going on. And you know, if you're not already strong enough mentally in your say somebody that's bipolar or somebody that has a condition like that, and you're out there alone festering in those emotions like that, that can be very, very deadly. That can almost be worse than having
Yeah,
the virus itself, because
absolutely.
at least with the virus, it can run its course and you can survive it. But again, festering in your mind that long and having those sort of problems. So that's why I love bringing people on like yourself, because again, it shares the message with people that you're not alone. You have options. There's people out there. There's resources out there. There's ways to reach out to these people. So if somebody reaches out to you on one of your chats and they're talking and they want that, and they're showing signs and indicators and triggers of what's going on, that's something that says, okay, maybe I need to reach out to that person. Um, it's really scary, and it's okay to feel scary, and especially right now, it's fine. Just if you start feeling beyond scared and start feeling other emotions, okay, that's when it's time to ask somebody, call somebody, do whatever you have to. Um,
Right.
there is no dumb answer. There is no dumb question. There is
Mhm.
none of it. None of that applies right now, because again, we're all learning to deal with it, essentially, because
Mhm.
we're all learning this. These are different times right now, and yes, they're not going to last, but they are what they are, and these are the conditions that we have to operate in as a society right now, or else the things that you fear are just going to keep escalating. The
Yeah.
numbers are going to keep going. The unemployment's going to keep going. So man, everybody, I get it. I know, but there's people like you. There's people like Andrea. There's people like Inez I had on. There's people, I've had people on. There's life coaches. There's all these people out there. And guess what? A lot of them are open to communicating right now. A
Mhm.
lot of them are, because again, I think that's why having these people on right now, it's their time to shine, because they're going to have a lot more opportunity for people to go, let me reach out, because I think she can help me out. This person,
Right.
I felt a connection, or there's something that she says in her message that resonates with me. Let me just reach out. I
Yeah.
love that aspect of it. So um, let me ask you two more questions that I usually like to ask everybody. So once we get past all of this, and we will get past it, what are some of the things that you got lined up, or what are some of the plans that you're working on to get yourself going once we're back to some sort of normalcy, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah. Gosh, so much, so little time, right?
Yeah, I feel the
Uh,
same way.
so the funny thing is, a lot of what I do is online. So I'm still actually doing what I'm doing, and more
Yeah.
actually. So it's the things that I do want to. I've always had on my to-do list, and I actually had finally the courage to do it. Is to do a live physical event for Dare to Be, and I had even had May 17th. And then I had a location and
Oh
everything,
wow.
but can't do it. But so,
Yeah, that kind of.
I mean, I've been starting trying to get the courage to do it for the past 3 years.
And then guess what? You get the courage to put everything
You know
together. What
what? It's
do you?
cool. It's all right. We're gonna. It's okay.
That's all
So
right.
I'm gonna find a way to channel that energy somewhere. Maybe it's an online event. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that as a sign that I wasn't quite ready to do a physical thing. Save up more money, see where I am in a year, and then go.
Well, how about this? What about personally? Is there like something that you would like to do? Because a lot of people are they're getting a little bit more perspective now because of everything that's going on. So I'm telling everybody, what are some of the things that you want to do once you get past this, as far as like, hey, Is there like a bucket list thing that you say, you know what, I can no longer wait doing this because I don't know the uncertainty of life. So like one of the things for me is I want to go hiking in the Colorado mountains. I've always wanted to do that. So once all this happens and we get past all this, that's plan number one for me. I want to go do it now because again, this has kind of taught me you can't sit and wait and say, I'm going to wait for the right time. I'm going to wait for the right opportunity. Because, because of this, I'm waiting for this to happen. Guess what? Life's going to happen. So a lot of things, again, nobody expected this. So a lot of people who, again, had plans and had these things, they're all out the window. So this is the time to say, okay, I need to regroup. If I'm going to go do something, let me figure out what's the one thing. So like me, I wanted to go do that, and I want to go see a lot more live music. I love music, so I want to go out to go more concerts. So these are things that I'm writing down on my list. So once everything is kind of back to what we can realize is normal, that's one of the things that I want to go do. So do you have anything in your plans as far as like, hey, I want to go to Italy, or I want to go to Rome, or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. So when you were asking me about inspiration, I also get inspirations from certain locations. One is, as you see in my background, is New York City. I love New York City. I was there. Luckily, I was there in December before this whole thing hit. And I told myself once a year, I'm going to find a way to go to New York City. And I just went there by myself for 3 days just to get inspired and write and visit the sites. And I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
So I want to do that. And I want to do, I love London as well. So, and I've been putting on, and I've always wanted to go to Japan. So, God, you know what? These all I got to get my act together too, because I got to.
Right.
But I always want to do that, and I'm a nerd. I love to continue to learn. I'm always curious about things, so I really miss going to physical events like conferences where you get to meet people and get inspired and things like that. So I can't wait to do one of those again.
Yeah, that's I'm asking everybody now, and I tell them, hey, you got those plans, get them in place, man. So when it happens and you get the chance to go out and be actually free without conditions, as far as all the 6 feet rules and all that's gone, and we can just be humans again, to go out there and start living life. Hey, there's one. Look, he said, visit India. Yeah. Cool. Right. New Delhi. That could be what. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of beautiful places in India. Yeah. A lot of culture there, and
that could be the first made from scratch on location.
There you go. First live. Right. That's one of the things that I'm working on. Right. Is once I get past all this, is to find a location and have a live guest on and do that for the first time, as well, having an in-person live show. So yeah, that's one of the plans that again, my mind's been going crazy, writing down ideas and go, hey, let me try this, or let me try that, or what are
see where you are in a year. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, me too. And I have very lofty goals, but I'd rather have it that way than the other, and not. So again, pushing myself and seeing where this goes. I'm all about it right now. So thank you for coming. Oh, last question. This is the one I always ask every guest. I haven't had a show where I haven't asked any. So when your time is said and done on the earth, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind? What is the one thing that you think you want to be remembered for whenever it's, when you're no longer here and everybody, yeah. I know it seems
on video you couldn't see that.
Yeah, it seems kind of morbid, but again, I like asking people, and I've had an array of answers, so it's whatever you answer. I just want to know what do you want to be remembered for? What's the legacy you want to leave behind?
I was actually, this is bad, but I was making that face because it was morbid. It's because I was thinking how I would answer it.
Awesome. I love that.
Um, gosh, there are so many things I want to do, but I guess if I'm being honest, it makes my day when someone says you've inspired me.
Yeah.
So if I can continue to inspire and leave that legacy so someone pay it forward and keep doing that as well, that's I mean
Yeah.
that's really what sums up what
Yeah.
I'm about. I want to give
Yeah.
people courage to inspire others as well.
That's awesome. Again, because I'm the same sort of thing. So whenever it ends, if it ends tomorrow, this is kind of like what I leave behind. This is sort of the legacy. So somebody can go find it and see, hey, this is kind of like what I did, and this is my plan, how I started this, and hopefully you can take something from it. That's why when people reach out to me, I am very open about sharing the things that I know and the things that I've learned because somebody did it for me. And I love sharing that information because and people usually they go, wow, you're really passionate about it. Well, yeah, I want you to get on live. I want you to go do these things. I want you to go test video. I want you to go challenge yourself because you're going to start seeing things that you never expected about yourself, and you'll start realizing that you don't have limitations, you don't have boundaries, and you don't have excuses anymore.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why I push everybody. Hey, you want to come on video? I tell them, come on video, come on, let's go. I don't know, I've never done anything live. It's fun. Get past the first 10 minutes. The initial buzz goes away, the butterflies go away, and then we just have a fun, interesting conversation like we're doing
So
now.
true. Yeah, so true.
So, I get it. It can be nerve wracking. It can be scary. But you learn to start, and I have so many plans. Like I said, once I get past of it, public speaking is something I'm fearful of, and that's one of the things I'm gonna.
Really?
Yeah, really.
You'd be great. I mean, you have the inspiration. You'd be great at it.
Uh, and the only thing that scares me is not so much that I don't think I can. I know I can talk. The thing that was always a barrier is just the instant feedback. See, with the camera, even now I've justified it because I go, well, there's a camera there. I'm just talking to a camera. Cool. But when you're talking to a group of people, there's 20, 40, 60 set of eyes on you, and it stems and I know where it comes from. It stems from being a kid and having to do a speech in front of a whole bunch of people. I just like froze up, head down, looking straight at my card. So I was doing this sort of thing, and people like speak, you hear, that sort of thing. So when I was digging deep in why my fear of public speaking is, I can equate it back to a moment and know what it is. So that's why I want to tackle it. And that was one of the things I was working on until, guess what? Thank you, coronavirus. You kind of squashed that at least for a little while. So
It's sort of like my event. High five.
yeah, yeah. So thank you because I had a friend and I had actually planned on going out to do a poetry read in front of just because it was one of the,
Nice.
yeah, they were like, hey, come on. People are always receptive to first time readers, and you can read your own stuff and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was building up the courage. Okay, I'm gonna go, and boom, here we are in middle of March, and they're announcing, hey, now we're gonna stop all this stuff, and I was like, okay, what are you gonna do, right? So
Believe in the journey.
yeah, so I still have plans to do it because again, I wanted to actually film it so that I could share it with people. Me
That'd be
doing,
cool.
yeah, getting past one of my fears and just putting that out there because I think it's shows everybody that anybody can do it. You
I
can
mean,
do it. Yeah.
behind every fear, there's a story, right?
Yes, and I love that. And so everybody's story has a value to it. So And there's some people like you who I don't, it might get up in front of a crowd and just be comfortable doing it. I'm just terrified of it, but I'll get past it. Just like I got past this. So I know now because of this, I'll be able to do it. It's just going to be that first moment getting up on stage and standing and working past that little kid again and realizing that, hey, that's over, my friend. This is who we are now.
Yeah.
And
It's the same thing. The first few minutes, you're jittery, and then, it's like having a conversation. Exactly what you just told yourself.
yeah, so that's why I'm ready for it. So,
Cool.
thank you, Andrea. Thank you for hopping on. I do appreciate it. Again, I've enjoyed the conversation, and
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
big shout out. Thank you again to Adam Posner, because
Yes, Adam rocks.
without him, I wouldn't have met Andrea. And
Ditto.
yeah, and it was, again, I'm glad that I did. So I sent him a big shout out on LinkedIn because
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
He deserves it.
yeah, he does a lot of good things. He gets a lot of good people on there. He brings a lot of good message. So that's kind of like, there's him and another guy named Russ Johns are the two guys that I love to emulate because I love what they do. And, Adam has his style, Russ has his style, but they both work it very well. And, and with these people that they get on, you can feel the real conversation. You can feel their authenticity coming across, and what you're seeing is what you're getting from these guys. And I love that. And that's just one of the things that I want to share myself. So,
Yeah. Well, you're doing an amazing job. I mean, you're natural. So
yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, as well, for coming on
thank
the
you.
show. I do appreciate it. And then let's see. Yeah, look, there's a lot of good places here. Yes. Thank you from India. So this is my first international show. Thank you, guys. That was a milestone for me.
That's right.
And I can always go back and say, I remember the show Andrea was on, because that was the first time I had anybody come from
What is it?
India.
Lucky number 30 what?
Number 32.
32.
32, everybody. So, guys, check out Andrea again. She has her Dare to Be. It's a hashtag Dare to Be on Twitter. She does her Twitter chats on Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, everybody. So across the nation, you can figure out the time zone thing. If you're not, where you're in a lot of trouble. And then, and then she also does a live, and she kind of does that, I guess, on the fly, or you do that. How do you do the?
I do
How do you do
those.
the live?
I do those Thursdays on Zoom around 12:30 p.m. Central. So I usually post on LinkedIn and on Twitter.
Okay.
If you want to follow me there.
Hey, here you go, guys. If you want to follow her, I'm going to pull it up again so you guys can see where you can follow Andrea, right? You can go to her website, first of all. Go check it out, www.sparkstory.co. And then you can also follow her hashtag on Twitter. It's Dare to Be on Twitter. And then you can follow her at asanchez16 on Twitter. She'll help you. I mean, you can follow along. You can join the chat, or you can get on the live. It's a lot of fun. I've been on the live with her before, and it was pretty good conversation. So let me pull this up as well. There's one more comment. Yeah, there are a lot of negative ways. Exactly. Love it. And this is one of the things that I love about this. You get to be interactive with the folks that come on the show. You can post comments. You can do that thing. So, guys, you can also find the link to her website. It's in the comments already. Click the link. It'll take you there automatically. You can go check out her services she offers. And you can also check out some of her blog posts. So check out Andrea, man. She is awesome. Guys, if you do not know, you can connect with her Twitter. She's on LinkedIn. Send a connection there. And I'm pretty sure she'll be able to help you. She's helped out quite a lot of people. She's helped me out. So
thank you, Will. Likewise. Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Yes. So, guys, just a quick reminder: tomorrow evening show, 7 o'clock. My guest will be Adrian Lyles, and Adrian is a musician, and he is a young talent. I mean, young. I think he's 15, but it's incredible what he's done so far in his early career. And he's a singer-songwriter. He plays his own instruments. incredible young lad, and I'm going to have him on the show, and he's going to do a couple of songs and perform on the show tomorrow. So guys, check us out, 7 o'clock, same time. You know, I'm going to tell you, like I've been telling you in every show, be safe out there. Take it seriously, practice good social distancing, 6 feet apart. They're telling you that for a reason. They've done research on it. And then also as well, make sure you're washing your hands and practice follow your stay-at-home ordinances. So whatever state, county, whatever you're in, I'm pretty sure they have a shelter in place. They're doing it for a reason. Until we find some sort of cure or vaccine, this is the life we're going to have to figure out and live. So only way we're going to get that is through containment. And please, please, please just follow the orders. Take it seriously. It's for your own good, and it's for the good of the people as well. So thank you guys for coming on. I do appreciate it. Thank you again, Andrea. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 7 o'clock.